We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy. And yes, it is the first segment, which is the Hazza and Megsy news of the week. And guys, I mean, come on. It was all over the interwebs, Twitter, Reddit, all this week. The CBS interview.
Oh, the train wreck.
Oh my goodness. I mean, Sue, what are your thoughts on this absolute, as you say, train wreck of an interview? Like, what the hell is going on?
Well, I did multiple videos on this from the minute they came around the corner where Harry was 5 steps behind her to where they were sitting in the interview and Harry was leaning as far away from Meghan as he could get, to her putting her hand on his knee, trying to make it look like they're a loving couple, and Harry just looking like, oh my God, she's touching me. It shows, if anything, the state of their marriage. And of course, since the interview has come out, we've heard multiple stories. There was a screaming match because Meghan was upset that Jane Pauley went off script and asked her a not pre-approved question. You know, all of these are always pre-approved. She was upset about that. She was upset about some of the things that Harry had said. I felt that the hand on the knee was a warning. Stop talking, Harry. I've got this. And the whole thing was, from beginning to end, was just cringe. Their ratings for this show, as well as the ITV interview, were in the toilet. And this was the first joint interview they'd given since the Oprah show. And I think it just shows that people are just sick of it. They're sick of them.
Yeah, I don't think it went the way they hoped. And this is a thing, right? This is all about supposedly the parents' network. But yet again, they made it all about them. The Invictus games, you see it time and time again. They make it all about them. The spotlight's on them. It's not on the veterans. Yet again, you've got grieving parents here. Spotlight should be on them, but instead, it's on these two jokers here.
You know, they brought up her suicidal ideation again. And when she said, I've just scratched the surface, I thought, oh, that's a threat. That is a threat, because if she's just scratching the surface, what was the Oprah show? What was the Me You Can't See? What was the variety interview? What was the cut interview? What was all of that if she's just, I feel like she's running out of content, because let's face it, she's been out of the royal family longer than she was in it. And the royal family has cut them off and is not giving them any more information. And so she's going back to her old, I was suicidal deal. I just feel like the whole thing was just cringe. And I felt bad for those parents. Those parents got used horribly, in my opinion. And I think it's terrible that it's basically what they've done is they've set up a chat room. Like there aren't a gazillion of those already for parents who have lost children. And I also found it, let me just say, quite hypocritical that Harry wants to help keep the internet safe. And two of these parents talked about losing their children due to buying drugs off the internet, where Harry fully admits that he's using illegal drugs, cocaine and marijuana and magic mushrooms, to clean the windshield and how healthy it is. But yet he's talking about protecting these kids. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
It makes zero sense. I mean, there's contradictions all over the shop when it comes to this interview. I mean, one of which that I actually reported on earlier on this week, a couple of days ago, was the simple fact that, like, it was only, 3-4 months ago when she was at that South by West thing. And she turns around and she says she stays away from social media and the internet for her own sanity, for her own health. However, in this interview, and I put it in this video here, so if you guys haven't watched it, go check it out. I'll go into much more detail in that video there. But in a nutshell, she now turns around in this CBS interview and she's like, we know what's going on the internet. We know what's happening, blah, blah, blah. Well, hang on a minute. Only 4 months ago, you said that you stay away from the internet and social media. So how now, all of a sudden, do you know what's going on social media and the internet? Freaking walking contradiction if I've ever seen one, right, Sue?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Neil Sean who reported that she actually has 6 different social media accounts, and she continually scours the internet. She's they're always looking for the things that are being said. And you know that they're watching because then articles will come out refuting. Like, for instance, it was, Harry recently, somebody brought up the whole Nazi uniform thing, and a Puff Piece article just came out saying he so regrets that. It was one of the biggest mistakes of his life. Well, how did you even know anybody was talking about it again if you weren't on the internet? And just basic, obviously they're on the internet.
It's obvious, guys. It's obvious. But special mention, guys, needs to go to this notion that it was Megsy's birthday this week. Oh, many happy returns, however old you are, Megsy. It's a little bit contested at the moment. However, controversial. However, what happened yet again this year? The royal family snubbed her. Did not publicly wish her a happy birthday.
You know what I'm going to say? She and Harry have not publicly wished the king, William, Catherine, or any of the children, or Camilla, a happy birthday in how many years? And as a matter of fact, and again, I did a video on this, for some reason, every time it's Louis's birthday, she does something to overshadow it, from releasing a picture to announcing new things that they're doing. Literally on Louis's birthday, she's done that every year for the last 5 years. I did a whole video on it. It's don't say you're snubbed when you don't wish them a happy birthday either.
Well, this is the thing. But I mean, you've got the pattern of Louis's birthday and what she does there, but it seems to be a pattern with both Hazza and Megsy that they do something either on the eve or on the day when there is a major royal, let's call it event. Right? I mean, it was only a couple of months back when it was Trooping the Colour, Princess Catherine made her return to royal public life. And what does Megsy do? Through natural, as far as I'm concerned, dog biscuits and raspberry jam.
Yes, and when people pointed that out, she said, I'm not responsible for what he does. He puts it out when he wants. I had nothing to do with it. And it's like,
BS.
Do you really think people are that stupid? Of course BS. He put it out when you told him to. And it's no different than when William and Catherine came to Boston for the Earthshot Prize, and right as they were landing, that whole setup thing with Miss Hussey happened, and then they released the Netflix trailer for their special, and then they released the Invictus trailer, and then they they constantly tried to steal the headlines back. They do this with every major event of every royal person. It's a pattern. We all know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we all know it's going to happen. We all know when the next royal event happens, we're going to hear a little bit more from Hazza and Megsy, and they're going to do something else ridiculously stupid. Guys, with that being said, that is the end for the Megsy and Hazza News of the Week segment. We are going to be carrying on, but for all those that are watching on the replay, if you haven't done so already, if you liked this and you want more, and of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatevers. And if you loved what was coming out of Sue's mouth, and of course you did, because my logic's undeniable, then make sure you also head on over to her channel, Sue Smith on YouTube, for all your daily royal goodness. Not only just on the Gruesome Twosome, she does all the royals, don't you, Sue?
Yes, I do. Like we were just talking about, one of the Norway royals' children is in trouble, but I guess we'll cover that when we get to that segment.
Yes, we will cover that when we get to that segment. So for all those watching on the replay, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate your faces, and until the next time, you guys, laters.